And welcome back to another episode of Dogs on the Couch, Arr, 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 arr. Where everybody's allowed to have an opinion. It does not matter if you played the game you were watching. So you're allowed to have an opinion as well. Please like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe. It's free of charge, doesn't cost you a dime. It helps grow the channel. It also helps push videos like this into the algorithm so that like-minded people may have a chance to view them as well. We set our first goal here at Dogs on the Couch. We want to reach 100 subscribers, and you personally can help us out and become family by simply hitting that subscription button. I greatly appreciate it. Now, with that being said, let's get into it. Johnny Manziel, for some reason, I know the reason. I'm pretty sure he just decided that, he hadn't been viral in quite some time. Nobody had been paying him any mind. And so, what's the easiest way for him to get attention or eyes viewing him or to go viral? Say something negative about the Cleveland Browns. Now, before I go, before I really get to cooking here, you know what I'm saying? First of all, shout out to Johnny Manziel and whatever it is that he may have going on right now. Hopefully he's, doing well in life and everything like that. And maybe he's, hopefully he's found, a lane, that fits, or suits him best. And that he's able to excel in, whatever endeavors he may be, entrenched in at this current phase of his life. So, shout out to him, man. I guess, keep doing your thing. Now with that being said, you know what? Let's just get into some comments. Quick disclaimer: Johnny do drop a F-bomb. Don't really do no cussing on here, so I'm gonna try to blur it out if I can. But we want to hear what Johnny had to say in specific here, and this is courtesy of Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. So this is courtesy of their podcast, but this is Johnny Manziel and what he had to say about the Cleveland Browns or Cleveland.
I sit here today and I go back and forth with, man, am I going to let Cleveland off the hook and just like let it go? Or am I going to sit here with hate and animosity in my heart for the rest of my life? And I finally sit here today and I'm like, fuck it. I think I'm going to be pissed at them and hate them forever. So it is what it is, man. No love for the Browns. I'm rooting for 0-16 seasons every season. Damn. I sit here today
so tried to edit it best I could there. So there are so many problems, in my opinion, with that. First of all, let's get this understood. Are the Cleveland Browns until further proving otherwise to be something different? Yes, they are. Okay? So Cleveland Browns, bad news bears type of thing. You know what I mean? So the Browns are the Browns. They are. Respectfully. The Browns are the Browns. Okay? So, that is a truthful viewpoint, as far as looking at the Cleveland Browns in totality. However, in regards to one Johnny Manziel, if there's anybody who can't crap on the Browns, well, Johnny, that would be you, buddy. Yeah, you can't crap on the Cleveland Browns, because as bad as the Cleveland Browns are as an organization, you were much worse as a player for said organization. Yeah, you were much, much, much worse. Matter of fact, let's not try to rewrite history here, Johnny. Johnny football. Dating back to your college days, buddy, you weren't a student of the game of football. You were a student of your own fame. That's what you were a student of, not the game of football. The Johnny football persona made you believe that you were someone that you weren't. And I mean, on the football field, okay? It made you believe that you were someone that you weren't. So off the football field, you were exactly who people thought, hey, frat boy, party king, you know what I'm saying? Like, there ain't a party that he ain't in the mix of, like, that was you. But as far as on the football field, it was a mirage. It was an illusion, was what it was. It was a mirage. It was the definition of people getting bamboozled. Seeing, one thing, and then all of a sudden you realize it's like an oasis. It's a mirage. It's not really what it seems to be. And there are all these moving parts behind these doors. The Wizard of Oz turns out is just some guy standing behind a curtain talking into a microphone, blowing smoke up everybody's butt. That's what you were on the football field. Not only that, let's not rewrite history here, Johnny. Because first of all, when he making a statement, well, when I think, am I going to let Cleveland off the hook? What do you mean, let Cleveland off the hook? First of all, Cleveland don't care nothing about you. We argue every day about Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. We not talking about those. Even when we go down that list of all the 111 quarterbacks that we had names on the back of that jersey, you most often times ain't one of the first ones that we talk about. Like, we have completely detached ourselves from you. But for some odd reason, you can't seem to detach yourself from Cleveland. Because ever since your departure from Cleveland, well, for the most part, you've been just as irrelevant. You've been just as relevant as me sitting here on the couch doing this. You went from being Johnny Football to being just as relevant as me sitting here on this couch doing this. Who is really checking for you? And then the people who was checking for you, when they finally checked in and saw what you was doing, it's like, same old thing. Let's remember history. Johnny, you were the one who sent the text for the Browns to draft you. You don't remember that? Yeah, come get me. Let's wreck this league. Come on, get me. Let's wreck this league together. Why you ain't text some other team besides why you text the Browns? Why you ain't, if they just, if it's all this, let Cleveland off the hook. Cleveland the ones gave you the shot, gave you the chance. Because no, them other people, they didn't want you. So you had to rely on the Browns. And then not only that, you had to send a text to try to make sure. I don't think Fernando Mendoza had to text the Raiders, hey, come get me. You Johnny Football, right? But you got to text some people, hey, come get me. I'm still sitting here. Why, Johnny Football? Why you still sitting here? Oh, maybe you wasn't as good as you thought you were. That's why you still sitting there. So let's not forget, Johnny, you was sucking up to Cleveland, begging them to come get you. Talking, well, let's wreck this league together. You wrecked the league, all right. Yeah. You helped the Browns wreck the league, all right. You sure did. Let me give you an example of how you helped wreck the Browns a little bit too. Ironically, and I'm very partial about this due to the quarterback, but ironically, we had a hometown kid by the name of Brian Hoyer. Okay, this is 2014. Brian Hoyer. The reason that this touches a nerve with me is because Brian Hoyer was my high school quarterback. Yeah, that was my high school quarterback, man. We made a lot of we made a lot of plays. Real talk. Real talk. We made a lot of plays, man. One play in specific saved our season, our entire football season. When we was freshmen at Boardman. I know he will remember it. Matter of fact, I'm trying to reach out to him. I bet he gonna remember me, and he gonna remember the Boardman game. Like we all remember. Everybody who was on that team, we all remember the Boardman game. You know what I'm saying? And I had the game saving catch on 4th down. So I'm very partial about it because that's literally, that's my quarterback. That's literally my quarterback. And so to see him get a chance to be the starting quarterback for the Browns, it's like, man, it's like, let's go. Let's rock. Let's get behind him. And then instead of us doing that, we drafted Johnny Manziel, which created a little bit of friction or whatever. However, the issue is Brian Hoyer had us with a record of 6-3 after the first 9 games, tied for first place in the division. If I'm not mistaken, that may be the last time since that the Browns were at any point first place or tied for first place in the division, especially through 9 games. Maybe once or twice they did it before after the first game. Maybe they won the first game, but they don't do that too often. So that might even been the last time that we ever saw or shared first place in the division. And it wasn't because of you, Johnny Manziel. It was because of Brian Hoyer. That's who had us at 6-3 after 9 games. But what's so crazy is, instead of getting behind that guy when he, because nobody perfect. So yeah, he had a couple games where he, struggled a little bit or whatever. How quickly everyone forgot that he was the reason we were 6-3 through the first 9 games. Now Johnny football. Oh, let's put Johnny in the game. Let's get Johnny in there. So we forced this call comes from up, and this is why Shanahan ended up leaving. Why he ended up having Mike McDaniel draw up that PowerPoint so he get up out of here, because he didn't want Johnny Manziel. He knew Johnny wasn't ready. He knew Buddy wasn't studying no film, wasn't going over the playbook and all this other crap, staying out partying, not knowing what he's supposed to do on an NFL football field. He knew that. And so then you force Buddy in there, and then he hot garbage. It's not like you got in there and you saved the day, Johnny. Like you got in there and you turned into Johnny football. No, you didn't. We should have kept going with Brian Hoyer. It's a shame how we did him. I mean, absolutely ridiculous the way that we treated Brian Hoyer. Absolutely ridiculous. When he was the one leading the charge to the best 9-game stretch of football we have witnessed since '99. Okay? Because we love to talk about what other people did the best stuff since '99. I'm probably the best 9-game stretch of football that the Browns have seen since '99. And it was led by Brian Hoyer. And how you reward him? Oh, we going to put Johnny Manziel in there because you struggled the last couple games. What? And then, Johnny, you get in there and stank it up, then you got nerve to be talking about, if I let Cleveland off the hook, bro, we let you off the hook. Because we traded a kid that we swapped out a kid that actually showed he could win games for somebody that showed that he couldn't even study the playbook. So it always should have been really, should we have let you off the hook? Because we wasted a pick on you with that, yeah, come get me, let's go wreck the league. We wasted a pick on you. We could have picked anybody else, and it would have been better than picking you. And again, Johnny, if you for some reason think that I'm not depicting your football talents accurately, well, what did you do after you left Cleveland? What did you do? Did any other teams pick you up and give you a shot at it? Or, oh, they did actually. They just weren't in the NFL. I know because I was watching. It was a league called the AAF. It was a spring football league. If I'm not mistaken, they didn't even make it through the full inaugural season before shutting the league down. If I'm not mistaken, and if they did make it through that first season, the second season when they came back, they didn't make it through that one before it was shut down. But I'm pretty sure I think it was shut down. They might have made it through the first one. Then the second year, I think that it was when it shut down. But I remember I was watching the AAF. They was blasting Heinz Ward all over the product to sell the product and everything like that. I just love football. I watched the UFL. If anybody is familiar with the UFL, I was watching the USFL, and then they brought the XFL back. I was watching them too, and then they just merged them because it was like, it ain't enough room for two spring football leagues. We'd be better off just merging. Now it's the UFL. Watch them, attend games, the whole nine. That's what Columbus Aviators went out there, hollered at Ted Ginn, childhood comrade, if you will. We had a couple battles in the street, back in the day, back in our high school days and everything. But yeah, UFL, I watch all kind of football. So anyway, the AAF, you got picked up by a team in the AAF. I believe it was the Texas team that they had at that time. You got picked up by them. What did you do? Nothing. Then you got picked up by a team in the CFL. What did you do? Nothing. You did the same crap that you did before. Not fully grasp the playbook. You know what I'm saying? And try to rely on this perceived talent that you felt like was getting you over the hump, that you didn't realize was being aided by Mike Evans and other phenomenal athletes. So, I want to say this in the most respectful fashion that I possibly can. Johnny, stop talking about Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't care about you. Cleveland has forgotten all about you. Just like you just another name on the back of that quarterback jersey. You just another name on the jersey. That's all you are to Cleveland. You're just another name on the jersey. So if Cleveland can get over it, I think you should too. Because you're starting to sound like a bitter ex, my brother. Let it go. Dogs on the couch, signing off.